In the summer of 1877, millions of people starved to death. From the Madras Presidency in British India to China, Brazil, and southern Africa, entire communities were hollowed out by a sudden, simultaneous failure of agriculture across multiple continents. A natural anomaly thousands of miles away, off the coast of Peru, drove this global collapse. Local fishermen, noticing the warming waters, named the phenomenon El Niño. That year was what we now call a Super El Niño, and according to the latest predictive models from global weather centers, an anomaly of that exact scale is returning in 2026. But the Earth is different now. Due to climate change, our global baseline temperature is already 1.4 degrees Celsius higher than the pre-industrial average. Imagine you are sitting in a sealed room. It's already baking at 40 degrees Celsius. Now imagine someone walks in and switches on a high-powered space heater. That is exactly what an El Niño does to a world already altered by global warming. When this weather event hits, it will combine with our elevated baseline temperatures and deep-rooted policy failures. The 2026 Super El Niño is a compounding equation that will challenge the biological limits of human survival across the subcontinent. Looking at this map of the Pacific Ocean, we can see the engine of our global weather patterns. Normally, powerful trade winds blow from east to west. They push warm surface water toward Australia, which pulls cold, nutrient-rich water up from the deep along the South American coast. But during an El Niño, those trade winds weaken. The warm water stalls and spreads back into the Central Ocean. Because warm water evaporates easily, the massive rain clouds that usually form near landmasses end up dumping their water right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. For India, this oceanic shift is disastrous. That displaced moisture means the critical monsoon rains we rely on vanish, leaving the subcontinent dry. The timing of this upcoming anomaly is the first local amplifier. Forecasts show the 2026 El Niño will hit its peak exactly when India needs its monsoon season the most. Right now, 51% of India's agriculture is entirely dependent on those monsoon rains. When the rains fail, widespread crop failure follows immediately. That rural collapse triggers an immediate economic cascade. Lower food production spikes inflation, driving food prices up by as much as 9% and making basic survival unaffordable for the most vulnerable populations. As things break down in the fields, the cities offer no escape. Dense urban layouts create a heat island effect. All this concrete and asphalt absorbs the intense daytime sun and traps the heat inside the city grid. We often think the peak daytime sun is the main threat, but the real danger emerges at night. When temperatures fail to drop below 30 degrees, the human body loses its ability to cool down and recover, multiplying the risk of a fatal heat stroke. To survive, people with means run their air conditioning.
But those AC units pump massive amounts of exhaust heat directly into the streets, actively worsening the environment for anyone working outside. Our cities are engineered in a way that turns a severe summer into a physical and financial death trap for the 38 crore informal workers, delivery drivers, street vendors, and construction crews who cannot afford to hide indoors. This combination of extreme weather and urban design leads to a quiet, massive loss of life. Detailed estimates show that roughly 1.5 lakh Indians die from heat waves every single year. You rarely see that number in official reports. When a victim is brought into a hospital, doctors record the immediate biological failure, like cardiac arrest, organ failure, or severe dehydration. The intense heat that triggered the death is almost never officially acknowledged. There is a calculated financial reason for this undercounting. If the government officially classifies a heat wave as a notified disaster, the National Disaster Response Fund mandates a compensation payout of 4 lakh rupees to every victim's family. Rather than adapting to our warming climate and protecting its citizens, the state chooses to erase the victims from the official ledger to protect its budget. The frustrating part is that highly effective, localized solutions already exist. Studies show that simply planting and maintaining mature, pedestrian-level trees can slash local street temperatures by as much as 12 degrees Celsius. Yet our current urban development strategy is doing the exact opposite. Between 2015 and 2019, for every 1 square kilometer of new trees planted, 18 square kilometers of mature forest were destroyed. We are aggressively tearing down our natural defenses. We see it in the clearing of Delhi's ridge forests, the cutting of century-old banyan trees in Nashik, and the destruction of the Hasdez forest for mining operations. Officials often claim they plant new saplings to replace what they cut, but dropping isolated saplings into random patches offers zero immediate ecological cooling. It takes decades for a tree to mature, and without constant care, the vast majority of those new saplings simply die. If the government won't act, you have to. Start by fiercely protecting the existing canopy in your neighborhood from being cut down, and on the hottest days, provide cold water, shade, and hydration salts to the informal workers outside your home. On a larger scale, we have to cut our reliance on the coal grid, which drives 70% of India's electricity and fuels global warming. Look at the solar revolution happening right now on residential rooftops. The cost of solar panels has plummeted, making it easier than ever to power your home independently. We have a narrowing window to act. If we refuse to curb our carbon emissions and fail to protect our local tree canopies, the intense 45-degree heat of the 2026 Super El Niño will no longer be an anomaly. For the next generation, it will simply be the permanent, inescapable summer.